Hello, welcome to Down with Dragons here on Monsters of Roll. I am DM Scott, and with me, as always, full crew, roll off with absolutely no, wondering where people are in the order. This is going to be perfect. Here we go.
Killian playing Megan Corpse Flower, a Circle of Spores druid who's just happy to be here today.
And Mick playing Holliver, a gnome relic hunter, who is completely more and more astonished every day with what he does with this crew.
Chris playing Viet, Dwarven, Ranger Barbarian, Stormseed of the Maiden, the Blue Arm.
And Catherine playing Juniper Swift, a cleric with commitment issues.
So, it's been a hot minute since I've seen all your faces. And last week on at Insight Checked, by the way, if you did not see that, check it out. That was a great one-shot. So much fun. Thank you, Insight Checked. That was, great. And thank you, cool. Thank you, Chris and Scald, for that amazing prelude to the one shot. I know you're not comfortable with praise on that, but it's amazing. That being said, we're back. Normal campaign. Here we are. It's been a hot minute. A lot has happened. But before we dive into any of that, do we have any announcements? Anything to talk about, mention?
Oh, dear God, I hope not more than I prepared for.
Somebody has something.
I've got one.
Chris has something.
There's a Redbubble sale, store-wide 20% off. Find your vibe. Oh, let me do the thing so you can see where we're.
Find your vibe. Is it going to flash on the screen? Like, find your vibe. Oh, it's below the screen.
No, not the phone. I should have done that.
Find your vibe with our merchandise.
Ooh, this cool hat, things like that. You can sleep with our faces.
I wouldn't want to sleep with that face.
Just
I am going to get a pillow
the whole night as you sleep.
And that is monstersofroll.com/shop. It'll direct you to a Redbubble store. So go ahead and check it out. Check it out. That's it, I think. I'll do my plug for inspiration. So if you're catching up on some episodes, or if you're watching tonight and a player does something you really like, you can contact us down below and use the hashtag inspiration. Tell us which player you want to get it and why, and we will be sure to make sure those are allocated to the correct people. They help us out a lot, and they let us know how you're feeling about the show. So go ahead and get at us down below. We've got Discord, Facebook, Twitter, I think. So we're out there. Come and find us. Back to you.
Amazing, Killian. I always enjoy this. That being said, I would like to say I have inspiration to give out. Don't be excited, Killian. You don't get any. No, you do. I wanted to give out inspiration literally to everyone for multiple reasons. Killian, Catherine, your characters in the one shot were so much fun. I enjoyed just that one shot, and also the different attitudes and characters that you normally get to portray, and it was so much fun. Chris, I wanted to give you inspiration, and Scald, you get another one. So just tag that up to when you get to whenever you want to use it. Absolutely, because that intro was, whether it was planned or it was just an improvisation that just came together like the best warm fire on a cold winter's night, but it was amazing. And then Mick, I wanted to give you inspiration for not just the character of Callan and the things that we have talked about in the past for your backstory, but also the things we had not fully been able to visualize, but also how well you've done with Holliver for such a longer period of time, where it's just like, in general, like, thank you for Holliver, and thank you for everything you've allowed me to even kind of do with, if you saw the last episode, which we will touch on here in a moment, kind of taking Callan into a darker direction with all of the seeding that you have done for him. So all of you have done just amazing things with everything that have entertained me as your DM and made my life more difficult and also more pleasurable as we do things.
Oh, you really did miss us.
I did. It's Christmas, and you get inspiration, and you get inspiration.
Maybe
Oh,
we
what's
should
that
take
under my
breaks more
tree?
often.
Yeah, look under your seat. Everybody gets inspiration. Speaking of which, I also deal with you, and so I get inspired. No. No.
You definitely deserve something, because it's not all me, and everything you put out is good work, and we love it, and we enjoy it, and we take it as it comes, and it's always fun. So I really don't want to give you inspiration because you're the DM.
You don't have to.
But I would like to just like imagine there's like an achievement unlocks, like
hey.
Like, yeah,
Xbox hit in my very, early years, and just the achievement is enough for me to have those gamer points
right
that
on.
we thought
Yeah.
meant something back in the day.
Damn it.
That don't.
They do.
Oh, but
but do they?
They do to me.
but you still grind.
You still grind them out.
Yep.
Yeah. So and so's ahead of me this week. I better play one or two more games.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all of that said, let's dive into last time on
Onwards?
Down with Dragons. This is behind us, but beyondwards or hindwards.
We're going forward in reverse.
Yeah, forward in reverse.
I like that.
Be kind and rewind.
Hey.
Yeah, this is your special be kind and rewind moment, because most of us grew up in that age. So last time on Down with Dragons, the group was in the Obsidian City, once known as Dragonlock, that lifted into the sky in the far distant yet soon to be future, the unknown future. There they met Callan, or Slate, or a demon known as Levistus. All three in one for all. It's hard to tell, but there's a lot of layers there. And conversations were had. Threats were made, promises and accusations made of why events came to be as they were. And through all of the, let's be honest, emotional damage of the conversation, I mean, a god died, and people were blamed for isolation and being left alone on multiple fronts, and people doing what they were doing because they were doing it for others and making the sacrifice that no one else would make. It's not like anybody in this group would understand making sacrifices that nobody else would make. Yeah, the pathway to hell is paved in gold, The group managed to make their way to an unknown ship, a ship with no name, a mystery ship. As a time device was thrown,
Oh my God.
and a baby were Tarask beholder, or baby beholder were Tarask was belched into this world and took on a demon lord. And everyone made it to the ship, inserted a crystal, and an illusionary crew of Sealy Grizzle took command of the ship, and you all made your way back to present time in an airship, of all things, that seems to, like an exhaust pipe, kind of belch out cloud matter to
Is it
keep
streaming
you,
two trails of fire behind it?
in the beginning, yeah, because where you're going, you didn't need roads.
Heck yeah. Great,
We
Scott.
gotta go back to the future, and yeah, all of the crew, if you remember that kind of Davy Jones locker thing with all the Jack Sparrows, that kind of the same feel of like there's Sealy Grizzles and all kinds of versions of a crew running around. And you're back. You're above kind of the area of Dragonlock proper, high up in the sky. And you can see, if you look over the railings, the kind of exhaust of the ship making
That's right.
clouds. So
If I
you have
remember
kind of a
correctly-
subtle camouflage.
If I remember correctly, I was looking over the railing as I was puking my guts out.
Yeah, as you were puking your guts out. Correct. That is a thing that people are dealing with.
Poor fisherman.
Yeah.
It-
Oh, yeah, because that's how it ended.
Yeah.
So, that being said, we're going to kind of start some of this in kind of how I've done traveling by skill check challenge without the actual failure and all that stuff. This is going to be very much narrative, because once you're back, there's obviously going to be that decompression of being back. And then very quickly, there's going to be the idea of, where do we go? So I'm going to say for the first 48 hours, let's just roll initiative right off the bat, because then we can just organize this very easily of who does what when for the ideas, and I'll work with them from there.
So you're telling me I should have had my character sheet up this whole time?
Yeah, character sheet, dice. Do you have dice?
It's been a while since I've played D&D.
No, I know. You can get away with 52 deck of playing cards, but like optimally, a dice are better.
Okay. Well, I have tarot cards, so maybe that'll work. I got a
Totally.
I got death.
there
What does
is-
that mean?
There's a lockbox with a deck of many.
Oh, I love it.
I could just jump to that scene right now.
Okay.
Oh, that's always
Joking.
fun.
I got an 8 for initiative because I'm very talented and
Yeah, I got a
Maven's
7.
very aware of what's going on.
So Juniper has a 7.
Yes.
Maven has an 8.
Mm-hmm.
Maven's holding Juniper's hair.
Yep.
15 for Oliver.
That sounds appropriate.
22 for Viet.
Oh, goddamn right.
That would be a nat 20 plus a 2.
Heck
Yeah. Start.
Let's do some rolling tonight, because
Because I'll be honest, after the break and also where we're on the season, I truly feel like this is like the season 2 second half.
Yeah.
Like we're kicking off and a new real feel, bringing the excitement, right?
I
Oh,
think
yeah.
I was using my dice on insight checks and get rubbed some of that off on that show, maybe.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kelly.
I'm all for this. So starting off, I would like Viet. Give me idea 1 in the first 48 hours. What is like the first thing Viet would, beyond the shock of like, let's be honest, the first hour or 2 is kind of like, what the F, where are we? What's going on? And kind of getting acclimated to, you're back in the present and there's a crew of Sealy running around.
So we're back on a ship, and so Viet's gonna be slipping
High in the sky.
high in the sky. Viet's gonna be slipping between because the last time he was on a ship, it was with Manny and Fenris. So he's
Mhm.
slipped. There's a lot that's happened, and he slipped. And so you're going to be getting like, I like big booty. That's no lie. And just right, this deep baritone as he's trying to help with the ropes, which don't need helping, and he's going to be just throwing these weird pirate-related puns out as he's going along, mixed with some very cynical Fenris, like, I ain't helping with shit. So he's just alternately like lying down on this pile of ropes that's getting pulled out and trying to pull ropes in over here and wandering on, right, just a bit stupefied. Eventually, as he's kind of blending the three together, this Manny Fenris, God, what's my name?
Who? Yeah.
Viet, thank you. This Manny Fenris Viet.
I thought you were in character so much that you.
This Manny Fenris
He's gone full
Viet
method.
mix will start tugging on people's shoulder, right? They're like hunting now, like as Juniper's puking over the rail, and Maven is doing whatever Maven's doing, and
Holding
Holding
Jude's
the-
hair.
Oliver, and right, he's gonna be like, we should go. We should be going to get the staff to get a jump on it first before he hires somebody else, and then mix in with a bit of Manny. A stitch in time saves time. As he's then busy trying to sew a sail together again.
Oh, good.
Okay.
So he's going to be advocating that we need to let's go do the job.
Okay. That is perfect. You are setting a destination.
Maybe.
Well, I mean, right now.
And also,
You have
as
to
we
be
mentioned last time,
most-
attuning the amulet.
Tuning the amulet. Correct.
Assuming someone
well-
told the idiot to put the thing on finally.
I feel like that might have been mentioned at some points, and I'm just going to assume that is a continued thing if anyone even remotely has a 10 or higher intelligence check. So
Oh, you want me to roll
we'll
for it?
just no, I'm just assuming. I assume someone had a higher
Oh,
like,
not
everyone
okay,
has
got
the
it.
things
Got
on.
it.
Everyone, no, you don't. Get that on. Okay. So Viet is both totally giving good direction and also a chaos bomb. He's dealing with some things. He's still giving good advice, but he's also helping the crew, which is also hindering the crew at the exact same time.
Perfect.
But it's goddamn entertaining. I have the destination noted. We'll see how the rest of this initiative round goes, because this kind of covers a chunk of time. Oliver, you have next. So as you see Viet both being useful and like, hey, this is a thing we need to do. We should head back, go to the Black Staff, like set course for there. You also see him giving like weird inspirational like haikus and also being obtuse.
Not
Viet,
back to the
yes.
Black Staff. To where's the staff?
Oh, you're
Hailstone.
talking Hailstone.
Hailstone.
Oh,
yes.
I thought you were talking going to pick up Black Staff.
Nope. Leave the Black Staff.
No,
for that.
okay,
Go into
heading
Hailstone.
to the
Go
staff.
do the
Going to
job
Hailstone.
before anybody knows where
The
we
job.
are.
Fair.
job.
Okay, I totally misunderstood.
Sorry.
There are multiple staves in this world, and two have been a thing.
Yeah, not the Black Staff.
Mhm.
We're gonna go steal
Screw that guy.
steal the Glacier Staff out before Zazozan.
Anyone.
Man.
Yeah.
Before
anybody knows
Zazozan
anything.
hires somebody else to go get it.
It's been a hot minute, so I get it.
Thanks for sticking with us. Not you, Scott. You're with us. That was the audience thing. I might just channel Viet all night long. Sorry, everybody.
So, Oliver,
Yes.
what are you doing? Those
Oh,
first
you know,
kind of chunks
Viet,
of time.
right now, Viet is a curiosity. You know, it's just strange stuff going on. He probably at some point he hears a weird, those sayings coming out of him. At one point, it's like, "Hey, Fenris, why don't you take a shower before you walk the plank? Huh? Because you're gonna wash up on shore anyways." Huh? And so Oliver's just staring at Viet. Huh? Okay, I've seen some silly stuff come out of Viet, but weird. And speaking of seeing stuff, my goodness, all the things I've seen so far. I could pretty much rewrite all of known history. Every book, every text I've read so far, and every library. The knowledge I have now from all the stuff we've seen, it supersedes it all. It's all meaningless, but also it has to be cleared up and rewritten. And he's just kind of like probably obsessed and fixated with his notes.
So you're saying for this first chunk, it's kind of an existential crisis.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, and it's compounded by the fact that once again he can't actually count. So
Very true.
right.
Very
Imagine trying to kind of crystallize all of these ideas, but at no point can you use a quantitative measure for any of it. It's frustrating.
Unless you don't know that it's frustrating because you don't have a basis.
Right. On a scale of this to that, however that much may be, he doesn't know how frustrating it is.
Yeah, it's an annoying song at best.
All of known history, like the last 3 minutes.
What are minutes?
He remembers all of known history. He just has no idea how long it is.
Right.
Right. Yeah. All of it. That's the only way he can quantify it.
Just a minute ago, which I have had the argument with my wife, which is she's like, the other day, which was 6 months ago.
Yes, it is the other day. I'm firmly on
that
her
argument.
Argument. She's right though, just for the record.
Sure. You just get rid of that inspiration. You just chose the wrong side of an argument.
Too late.
No, it's not too late. I'm the DM.
It's too late. She's used it already.
Which is pretty true for me.
But of course, for me, I do not.
I have one. Burn it.
Yeah.
Waste not, want not.
Exactly.
All right. So Viet is having a PTSD interpersonal personality thing.
Just remember,
Oliver
don't need to follow the entire pirate crew. That's peer pressure.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Beautiful.
Oh.
Yeah.
By the way, I am making
Subtracting.
tally marks for every single good pirate joke or ship joke because
So how many do you have
now-
so far? One?
I have one
Negative
for Oliver and one for Viet because what the plan no, I have two right now.
Okay.
One for Viet, one for Viet. Oliver has the other one.
Two for Manny. One for Oliver, one for Viet, two for Manny.
It's all part of you, baby.
Yeah. You know how pirates know they're pirates, right?
You can't force it. You can't force it. Your turn's over.
They just think, and therefore they are.
Oh my God.
Arr.
All right.
Get it?
Oliver.
Do it again.
That was Manny.
This is your no, that was okay. Mick. I'm gonna tell you every time you do that voice, I'm giving it to Viet.
No, I'm fine with that.
Okay, cool. Because now he has two.
Pretty
But
soon,
that was a
his,
good one, but I hate to admit it.
His achievement score is going to supersede yours pretty soon.
Oh. Hey,
His
No.
points.
I get the gamer points. All right. Anyway, so Oliver is having an existential crisis and is kind of diving into himself while he talks out loud and just dumping his backpack and asking like Viet to like give him some of the books he grabbed. And it's like he is trying to just find terra firma in this chaos of rewritten history that is becoming a reality. Maven, what are you doing?
Well, so I have been holding June's hair while she yarfs.
That's very lovely of you.
Yeah, we're buds. But how good is Oliver's poker face? And how much of this can I actually hear? I'm wondering.
Oliver, how much of like are you trying to keep yourself composed, or are you, in your opinion, in a full like break?
Yes, Oliver is to himself at least keeping himself composed, but actually being able to do it is probably not working.
Okay.
How about a performance check at
Yeah.
disadvantage?
Okay. I think that's a good way to
God, I
figure
hope
this
you
one.
fail it. I have a good idea.
Okay, so disadvantage is an 11.
Okay, so in your head, for sure, you feel like you're locked down. On the outside looking in, especially people who have traveled with Oliver for not even an extended time of like years, but like you've traveled with him now for about a month. You've seen him be killed and brought back and burned and brought back. And you've seen his personality shift as he has faced death multiple times. He does not have this on lockdown. And even if it's like crazy every now and then where he's like in his head, he's like, right. So so what's real? Like there's a whole history here that isn't being recorded. And then all of a sudden it's like, I know. Stop yelling at me. And then he just kind of goes back into it. You know, like every now and then there's an outburst where he's dealing with it. And I'm not saying that crazy, but like he has little outbursts here and there where it's like, it's fairly clear to anyone who knows him where it's like, so he's not dealing with this awesomely.
Yeah.
I think
there's
some point,
cracks in the foundation.
Yeah, I think at some point then he'd probably just totally break and start taking a piece of chalk and writing formula and text on the side of the boat, on the deck.
Yeah.
Just like a beautiful minding it or no, what is it?
No, Beautiful Mind. That's where there was all
Yeah.
the codes and he saw the patterns and
Yeah.
Beautiful Mind.
I can just imagine one of the Sealies with a mop just kind of
Yeah.
Just-
Right.
Yeah, just following back, and it just keeps going and laps himself or goes all the way around the boat and doesn't even notice that his text is erased.
This is a good. Okay, I like this. How long does June puke for? Because my actions are very much dependent on you guys.
Here's the thing.
Couple
I'm
hours.
saying this is roughly the first couple hours. This is
Yeah.
what this first
Okay.
initiative is.
Like,
So you can start off with, I'm assisting Juniper, but then I do things.
All right, great, cool. Well, once you get settled, and I see that Oliver is just kind of freaking out.
Yeah.
I do what any good Deadwood mother would do, and I grab him up by the collar, and I just give him a quick little slap, and I say, "Pull yourself together. What's going on?"
Roll me an intimidation check.
I love it. I am intimidating, for the record. I just want that on the record.
Sometimes.
That's a nat 20 plus 121.
It's enough that I
Yippies.
feel like without having Oliver roll anything, it would, after the course of maybe an hour or two, as she's been assisting Juniper and then getting acclimated to the ship and seeing you slowly avalanching into this and starting to like chalk right onto the actual ship itself, just kind of walk up and just give you a smack in the face and just like, dude, check your shit, you know?
This is what's real. Focus on the pain in your face.
So let's expound on that moment. So
Yeah.
Here we are. You just got smacked in the face. It's enough to bring you back to reality. And you still have everything else, that noise in the back of your head, but you're here. And Maven has brought you here.
Right. And then just let's reorient to what reality is for us. We're
Flying in a
on a
ship.
crazy flying ship
Yeah.
with a bunch of crew that are all the same person,
Yes.
Sealy Grizzle.
Yep.
And that is supposed to be more comforting.
No.
Or that's what Maven wants.
No, it's not more comforting, but that's where we're at right now, right?
Okay.
Yeah. We can
Yeah,
worry
sure.
about all of recorded history if we live to see the rest of tomorrow. But right now, we're on a flying boat filled with multiple images of Sealy, and we got to get our shit together. And I'm living for what's happening right now. We've got a lot to unpack.
Is there a Manny quote right now? So like just somebody like Viet passes with a Manny quote.
Oh my God.
Like,
To err is human, but to R is pirate.
Yes. Oh, good.
But I love this game.
Oh, so
I
good.
missed you all so much.
Hey, you know, after a pirate loses his first hand, he's hooked.
God, you guys are competing. Here's the thing. At this point, it is going to be a competition.
It's dueling pianos with pirate puns.
Whoever gets the most at the end of this game gets inspiration from me. Just
Good job.
flat out.
Pirate.
I might even double down and give you divination.
Good
Oh.
Lord. Good Lord.
You know what that means, right?
No.
A divination wizard at the beginning of every day, so it'd be a one-time thing, gets to roll 2d20s, and you can just interject them anywhere you want. So if you roll a nat 20 and a nat 1, you can use that for yourself or use that against an enemy who rolls a dice against you, or you roll a dice for yourself.
Okay.
So
Cute.
like whoever has the most ship pirate puns maybe gets divination for one time.
Well, Manny's gonna win, hands down.
Yeah, but the thing is Chris has some and you have some, and so right now it's 3 for Viet and 2 for Oliver for Viet.
Right on.
Anyway,
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, reality. Yes. All of these Sealy Grizzles, they've been throughout time. I could talk to all of them and get even more information.
You could pinch yourself. I'm gonna start like pinching on your arms. When you start going all the way out here, I need you here. I need you right here.
Right
Okay?
here. Right here.
So right here.
On
If
your
you
arm?
need it.
You need me on
Yeah,
your
I need
arm.
you right here on my arm. No, I need you in this moment. We gotta stay focused. Because if we start worrying about all of recorded history, or we start thinking about tomorrow, whatever that even means, because we're back in time right now, we're going to do nothing. We're going to sit here and freak out and do nothing. So as much as that noise in the back of your head is really, really loud, trust me, I feel you. Tell her to take a seat. Pinch yourself a little bit. Come talk with me. Come with me. Let's go do something.
Yeah.
Let's go do something.
I'm not good at this, Maven.
It's okay.
I'll follow you.
Come on.
Yes.
We got this. And we will start doing intense calisthenics.
Calendenics?
Yeah,
No.
like chicken
No,
fat. You
that's
ever,
crazier than anything.
you ever heard of chicken fat? Well, that's what we're doing, baby. It's getting you right into your body. You can't think of anything else but all the toe touches you're doing.
Okay. As long as I can write a manual about it later.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Whatever
Okay,
you want.
okay.
And I'm just keeping him busy for the rest of the time until we figure out where we're going. We're going around, we're doing calisthenics. There's nothing that needs to be done on the boat. So I'm just kind of
it's
trying to
taking care of
occupy.
itself.
Yeah. Just trying to occupy the mind palace that's happening.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah.
So next, Juniper, after you finished, and if you had thrown up your shoes, you wouldn't have been surprised.
Got it. I was like, what?
Yeah. So like you get done with all of that and you finally have just come to that place where everyone who has ever had food poisoning or seasickness or whatever, where you just come to that place where it's like there's nothing left, not even bile.
Mm.
Mm.
Been
And
there,
you're
mama.
sitting against the rail and you see, like at that moment, as you kind of sit there, you see Maven just slap Oliver and start to be like, "Hey, look at me," you know. And they're exchanging heated words, and you see Viet running around, grabbing rope, and then half tangling himself up, and then laying down and just not wanting to be involved, but then reluctantly seeming like he's pulling in rope. Like it's a weird. I guess not. You know these people. Like it's not that weird, but where are you at? What's up?
I would have thought we would have been a little bit more of a team, a little bit more together by now. Than all of that.
A lot's happened.
Yeah.
And you went to the future and you came out the other side.
There was stuff that happened there, and she's probably taking a little bit of time to process that. But the first immediate thing that she would do as soon as she could, so as soon as she sort of equalized herself, is to take out like some parchment and something to write with and write a note to Callan to shove into that two-way bag.
Okay. So over the course of, let's say, the first hour, as all of this is happening over the course of about 2 to 3 hours, I would say, because there's a lot happening, a lot of emotions, a lot of feelings. You kind of just sit there and you're watching some of the chaos and some of the and it's not even I thought we would have been more together. It's happening. You see Maven checking Oliver and trying to bring him back, and you see it is happening, but you've had also a lot happen. And you kind of all of a sudden hear those echoed words in the obsidian throne room of, "I'm doing what no one would do, and no one helped me, and so I did what was neat." You hear Callan's words that in your own way, you've thought to yourself of doing what is necessary. And you've heard Maven, when she took the bite, saying she was trying to do what was necessary. And Viet, when he was shielding you and shielding the group and saying he was doing what was necessary. And you've heard everyone in this group at some point say they were doing what they thought was necessary. And it's even though Callan's not here and not part of it, it's that continued step that all of you have taken. Some of you regretted, some of you not, some of you taken extra steps and then come back from. It's a very mixed bag. And you think on that, and you pull out some parchment and start to write. What do you write?
Short. It's real short and sweet. Real short and sweet. Callan, everything is forgiven with time and understanding. Hang in there. It's time to come home.
Oh, okay. So you write that. I mean, here's the question.
In common.
uh, yeah. Do you sign it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yes.
Okay.
June.
Do you sign it and put it in the bag, or are you signing it and gonna show it to others?
Just shoving it in the bag.
Okay.
She's pretty like knowing a little bit about the place that he is, presumably.
Knowing a lot of bit about the place.
Yeah.
been.
Time is of the essence.
Yeah. For context, even though for perception, like you don't remember it, time moves differently there. We've kind of hinted at that for the 3 days that Juniper was there. Roughly 30 years passed. So think of that, of how long Callan's been there to where we are now, of how much time has passed on his side of things. So Juniper definitely does have an idea of that time difference.
Mm-hmm.
For you guys, it hasn't been a really long time since everything happened. But for Callan, it's been an age since everything happened. Regret or remorse or vindication or righteousness or like whatever, emotional thing has happened. He's had years at this point to focus on what happened and then move on from it or not move on from it. So yeah, you write that letter, sign it, and shove it into the bag. All right. So as these hours pass, you kind of write on that. And unless I'm wrong, and you tell me if I'm wrong, Juniper probably maybe after writing that gets kind of introspective.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
She's definitely thinking a lot about what they just went through.
And I feel everybody is in their own way, whether or not they're fully coherent of it or not. They are. A lot happened.
Don't cry for me, Argentina.
Oh my god. Yeah.
The truth is, I never.
Really good. Argentina. Yeah.
Argentina.
So time passes. Turns into dusk. The sun is going down and the ship has been functioning. All of you have been kind of really not dealing with a ship. You've been dealing with yourselves in your own ways. And all of a sudden you see, like, all of you kind of get brought back to yourselves because there is a Sealy Grizzle that doesn't look like a deckhand of Sealy Grizzle. And I mean, it looks like Sealy. The long trench coat with all the pockets, parchments sticking out, hair kind of a dandelion fuzz with like kind of the half bandana pulling her hair back. And literally she comes out of the equivalent of like where you think of like a galleon deck where there's the captain's quarters with the stairs going up on either sides. Like all of a sudden, without the doors opening, just all of a sudden an illusion of Sealy comes running out from the doors. And she looks like she's running out and stumbling and then coming to a halt, looking at all of you. And, so What do you think? And she does look like her older self. Very much in her like late 40s. Still beautiful, still the Celie you knew back in the day, but also just more coherent. And she stumbles out and just like, what do you think? What do you think of the ship? I made it for all of you.
It's amazing.
Really? You like it?
I like the deckhands.
Well, I mean, that's not hard to know who you'd like. So, I mean, I hate to do this because I know there's that whole group dynamic and I love all of you and you all mean so much to me, but like this is an extension of mechanical magical creation. I need you guys to decide who the captain is. And she looks like super embarrassed to ask that. And like is like the crew needs a captain.
Know anything about ships?
I mean, we need a quartermaster. We need a navigator.
Oh, I can navigate.
And
I can track stars and figure out where we are based on that. So that would probably be good for. I can do that. And I have a little. And she pulls out her geode. Yeah, I got this. Just assuming
my-
Celie knows what it is.
oh yeah, she's like, oh my god, yeah, that makes total sense. Like you would make it to, and all of a sudden you see her face turn into this weird neutral tone. There is an admission for the navigator on board the no-name ship. Do we have a second for the navigator?
Who's gonna vote for me?
Is this being like library
second.
lion?
Listen, if you're asking for one of us to vote, you have my second.
Thank you.
Maven
We
has
have a
navigator.
second. Oliver has voted for Maven to be the second. Do we have any objections to the navigator being Maven?
No?
No.
And all of a sudden it's like, Maven, you're the navigator. Oh. The ship will answer your call. If you need to set course, all you have to do is speak to the ship and we'll set course wherever you want.
Cool. Awesome.
But that is for long distance travel.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Anything short term, the captain has the ultimate decision of. For
Yes, sir,
emergency-
Celie, sir.
And she just,
Yeah.
yeah.
Where can this ship go?
She looks at you and she's like, what do you mean, where can it go?
We're in a flying ship, girl.
Where can't it go?
We can't leave the barrier, but we can fly through the sky and we can land in the water. And I guess we could hover above the land, but that would, I don't think the cloud cover is going to make us look like we're not supposed to be there. We'd look
It'd
like
be
a
taking us to
sailing
Callan.
ship in fog. Well, Callan's all data up to what I know is Callan is not on the mortal plane. He is still within the in between of our worlds, the dragon's realm.
You said we need. Who else do we need?
We need a captain to give ultimate commands of the ship. We need a quartermaster to organize all of the supplies and needs of the ship. And we need a gunnery officer to handle all offense and defense of the ship.
Mm.
I can facilitate a partial assistance in these positions, but ultimately the ship cannot function without designated individuals to take command of the ship.
Oliver, you're being good at counting, yes?
Ah, um, mm,
You have all those books. You like keeping things organized.
How
Yes.
many books?
Oh,
Do
yeah,
you want that
like,
thing, or do you want to be,
That's,
This
or do you
is-
want to be in
perfect.
charge of shooting things? Because you also have that last resort too. Or do you want to be
think-
captain?
I
Maybe
think
Juniper
that-
should be captain.
I don't know anything about ships yet. Like, what kind of idea is that?
But you're good at making
God, my
decisions
camera.
No, I'm
and choices.
It's true, and you, whether you believe it or not, you have the medal to lead.
I will be your faithful servant,
Maybe
Captain.
beholder
my
where
captain.
to ask. Oh, wait.
Oh, it followed us.
I'm trying to get my camera to focus.
I know. I thought maybe it followed us and we could keep
That would have been
it followed us
hilarious
home
if-
through time.
And it loves us, and it's
It loves
we're their dads now.
And I will
Oh,
be feeding it every day, mostly.
It'll look. Just stay still, and it'll come back. It'll.
We're
Make a
drinking more
goofy
of
face.
Yeah, make a goofy face,
Ah.
and then. It'll...
Well, it's entertaining for us.
it is pretty entertaining for us.
Yeah.
However, I honestly think that you would be perfect for like the organization and like keeping ledgers and stuff like. You love that. That's like your.
And you
thing.
know, that's the focus I need. That Maven just slapped me to remind me
Yeah,
that to
weird
come back to
focus.
reality. I think that's what I need. I need a job. I need to focus. And that's it. I'll be the quartermaster. I'm perfect
Perfect.
for the job.
Okay.
You're
All
able
of a
to
sudden,
keep
like,
ships
all of
logs.
the holograms change again, go into that dim, like pale. Just there is a nomination for the quartermaster.
Second.
Oliver, is there a second?
Second.
Second and third. The
Good.
motion passes. Oliver, you are the quartermaster, and everything turns to normal.
I can be helping you carry things, Oliver. Get this strong.
We'll all help each other.
But don't forget, I have short round here too. My imp.
So there is a need for an artillery or gunner officer and the captain.
I vote Chris, not Chris. Oh my God, Viet for artillery. He bring the thunder. You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh! Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'll say Maven and Juniper, just on that idea, all of a sudden the ship changes again, and there's a nomination for artillery or gunner officer for Viet.
Second.
Is there a second?
Second, third, fourth, and fifth.
And a third. Viet is the gunnery officer. And then
Hooray!
everything resumes. And then the only nomination that is required is the captain.
Oh,
The
Captain,
ship
my
needs
captain.
a captain.
I guess that's me. Although
Yoo-hoo.
I think this is a terrible idea.
Yoo-hoo, Captain.
All of a sudden the ship changes, and all the holograms turn into pale illusions of Sealy, and there's a nomination for the captain. The captain to be Juniper. Is there a second?
I object. Just kidding.
Juniper will
Object.
be good captain.
Juniper
yes.
will be excommunicated from the ship.
No.
I vote whatever that affirmation thing vote is called.
One could
Yeah,
say
you just
aye,
said.
aye.
Oliver seconds the motion of Juniper Swift to be the captain.
Juniper will be good captain, yes.
And
The
I,
motion
your faithful
follows.
steed.
Okay, here's the crazy thing. Captain Juniper Swift.
That is a pirate name.
Captain
I mean,
Swift.
it is.
Actually,
Yeah.
yeah. Captain Swift. Hell yeah.
Here's the thing.
It was destiny.
Following on that feel. The ship with no name needs a ship to be a ship with a captain.
The ship with no name needs
The
a
ship
to be a
immediately is basically like, what is the name of the ship, Captain Swift?
The what you say?
Oh, that's our name now?
All
Great.
of the crew, everyone
No.
salutes.
No, no,
Captain
no.
Swift.
No.
What is the name of our ship, Captain Swift? You're in the hot seat there, baby.
We did not discuss this.
No, we didn't. And I also didn't choose who would be captain. You all did.
It's the
So-
juniper.
No, shush your mouth. Everyone mute yourself.
Oh my
Captain
God, no,
Swift.
No, I need suggestion, you guys.
What is the name of our ship?
Bewitched. The ship's bewitched.
Aye, aye. SS Bewitched, setting sail. What is our
Yeah.
course?
Wash. I forget.
So, navigator, you can voice your opinion. That's Maven. But Captain Swift has to give approval to
Okay.
navigation for the
Um,
long term. They can override for the short term, battles, all that.
Right. Okay, so we are currently above Dragon Lock. Yes.
In the area of, but yeah.
Okay.
By the way, all of you, I want to give you the full kind of understanding of where I'm coming from, of the amazing idea of the ship, but also the bane of the ship.
Oh my God.
Has anyone watched the movie Galaxy Quest?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember how the alien race has mimicked the technology to mimic their actor ship?
Yes.
And the one officer literally repeats the computer. Think that, where it's like,
Oh my gosh.
you have to tell the ship what you want. And if you do it out of turn of your position, it won't do it. So, Captain, you need to tell it in both, like, you have to approve things.
Oh my God.
Your reactions absolutely are to support your crew.
I have to make
Gunnery.
decisions.
You can only shoot, you can't take the helm. Like, quartermaster, you can support and give all the inventory and all that. You can't change a course. Navigation, you can set the absolute course or change the course in the immediate. But if it's evasive actions, things like that, you need a captain.
Totally.
You
We
all
all
have to
work
both
together.
work
Make decisions
against
in, like-
and with each other,
Yeah.
because the computer loves and hates you.
So yeah, it's Sealy.
You're gonna force me to make snap decisions in combat, is what I'm hearing.
Yep.
That is also part of this, because it did work out kind of in a kismet way where Catherine has to make decisions.
Oh, I hate it. I love it.
Yep. And it is like, oh, wait. Tears of Catherine.
Oh, not yet. That's not
We'll get
full
there.
yet.
That's
It's
next
coming.
session.
Yeah.
Coming. I
Sorry,
can
I'm
taste
opening the
that
door.
A dragon appears on the horizon.
Perfect. So yeah, the ship has a captain, it has a
Right.
quartermaster, it has an artillery or gunnery officer, and it has a navigator. So in that organization, as you all are at now a round table, which the deck, the way it's set up, is at the front and on the sides, there is this definite feel of where the boat or the ship has that normal deck, but jutting out from in the top front kind of quarter of the ship, almost where there are escape boats, there are artillery points. And then at the kind of waist of the ship, there are also boats that could jet out, but they are artillery points. The actual helm is probably, if you think of like the absolute middle of the ship, that is closer to where helm is, where the wheel is. Directly behind that, on a raised platform, stairs going up, meeting it on both sides, is where there is kind of like the battle map. In front of helm, to the front kind of third of the ship, is where one of the main sails that has that kind of glistening solar sail look. If you look at to the bottom back quarters of the ship, is like a fish with the fins that flail out. Solar sails on the bottom of the ship as well. Like, this ship is equipped for basically, as anyone could try to understand magically or science or whatever in between. It is powered by magic and by solar power. You are flying through the freaking sky. As we are doing so, you now all convene over the map. It is an altar. It looks like a brazier, and there is a small little smoldering fire sitting there with the bowl sitting underneath. And as you guys are all talking about, like, all right, so we need to head to Hailstone. Hailstone is where the glacial staff is. As Viet, you kind of point that out of like, that's where we need to go. All of a sudden, a topographical map, an illusion of fire and light.
Get up in there.
Get on up in there. As Viet brings up the point of like, we're heading to the glacial staff. We need to go to where Hailstone is, where the staff is. That's our objective. As you say that over this brazier, all of a sudden, in an illusion of the firelight and also illusionary light, creating a topographical map showing the path from where you are near Dragonlock all the way down to Hailstone. You can zoom in, you can basically do the equivalent of like pinch zoom and all of that. This fire brazier is showing the topographical map of your path heading towards Hailstone. You're all standing there. There is even an officer who is basically the equivalent of the cabin boy or the second, I don't know, all the seamen of ships. Basically, there's an assistant of Sealy in full,
Like a
uniform
first
dress who's just waiting to be given direction from the officers of the ship. So maybe, I guess, a bowsman. That's a name I know on ships. That does not mean that I'm so sorry to the Navy. If anyone watching is in, I'm so sorry. I will do more research. I'm a bad person when it comes to that. So there is an officer there who's not an officer. They are just a non-commissioned officer.
A helmsman. Yes.
Yeah, that person. Ready to
Boatswain
take
or
orders.
lieutenant or
All of those words.
yes.
I know where my lacking is. I don't need judgment.
So do we know, are we closer to the desert at this point or to
Dragonlock. Like
yeah, I
you
know.
can see Dragonlock in the distance.
Right. Yes, we're in Dragonlock.
Do-
But like,
oh.
are we?
Here, I can maybe do a thing. Let me try to do a thing.
Yeah. If that thing is bring up a
That
magical,
magical thing I'm all about.
topographical map. I'm trying to think of the map in
thing.
Magic.
Magic. And then
Yeah,
where?
okay.
Oh, so we're
Okay. Hailstone is way to the south.
yeah.
And the desert
Is
where you
way-
were is way to the north. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's about the right area.
So it's
So-
we're, I mean,
So we really
Equidistant.
should have stayed there, is what you're telling us.
Oh, you didn't have a choice in where you
Yeah.
I
stayed.
know.
And then Cyprus would be about here. Yeah.
Yeah.
The
right about
monastery
there.
is about here.
Yep.
Beacon. And let's see. And this is about where Alan
Alan
Fallen-
Dole's
the
on
Fallen-
the map,
Alan
but
Dole.
Yeah, you're
Thank you.
roughly.
Alan Dole.
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I mean, there's about a gajillion things I want to do, but I think Hailstone's probably the most immediate concern.
If
I
we
agree.
are pulling a job, yes.
I guess technically, yeah. I mean, unless one of you has a way to get Callan back
If we're
quicker.
doing a job, maybe we could be stopping at Turin. I'm having
What's
family connections I might be able to find someone who can help us with
Okay.
picking of locks and those types of things. The forgeries, the things that we might need to be getting into a locked place.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really good idea. That's very helpful.
I'll get to
Cool.
work provisioning their quarters right now.
Perfect. Yeah, so I guess to where is Turin on this map here? Where we got?
On the bottom here.
Okay. Yeah, so
Kind
we're
of.
just gonna- we'll just sort of take a little bit longer.
zoom
We'll
up
take
a
the
little
scenic
bit.
route. Yeah. Yeah,
I
why
can't.
not?
This is my screen background or my background. I might be able to do it if I give me a second. Find a thing. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I
Map.
I can't pick locks or anything like that. So
let's see. Oh, good idea, Scott. All right. Dragon lock.
Turin is here. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we may.
Hailstone.
I don't even know what our provisions on this ship are. Do we need we need stuff? I assume. I don't think it's just here. Unless it is. I guess Oliver, we should check that we should check that out, right?
Yes, that's my job. That's my role. I'm on it. I'll go take an accounting of all the provisions we have so far and get you a list of what we need and make sure we get it as best as we can using all of these wonderful Sealy Grizzle crew members. I'm on it.
All of a sudden, a Sealy Grizzle runs up to you. Quartermaster, we have enough for 10 days of the current crew that is on board our ship.
And now, is there any special way we can augment our provisions without landing? We want to take on possibly some more crew for some help, or stop for some more equipment here.
I mean,
Oliver,
And
Oliver, I am going to be
Immediately
needing
another-
more crackers.
another salute. Unfortunately, the way the ship was equipped was for a crew of 4 for 10 days. After that, resupply was necessary. Sir,
I can make like food it's not good, but like if we can kind of put stuff together, we can go longer. But how long will it take for us to get from here to Turin? And anyone?
I feel like that's something I should probably look
Now,
into.
Like all of the Sealies kind of look clueless at all of you.
Cool. Well, how many fantasy miles away is Turin from here? Do we have fantasy GPS?
All of a sudden, one of the crew is like, absolutely, navigator. We are 9 days away from the most likely resupply point that you could find between here and our current location and to where we could resupply with enough provisions to accommodate a longer trip from here.
Great. How much will that take us off course to Turin?
1.2 days detour from a direct path from Hailstone.
Does that sound agreeable to all of you?
is that a long time? I don't know. Is it?
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
You know, for a 10-day journey, a 1.5 day pit
Detour.
stop, I guess.
Detour.
Yeah, a detour. To me sounds fine. But I'd like input from the rest of you before I make my final decision.
I don't know that we have much of a choice.
The whole ship just looks clueless looking at you. Like, what are you guys going to do?
How?
Okay, you heard the captain. Let's set sail for the resupply point.
They all look clueless as you say that.
How long without the detour would it take us to get from here to Turin?
They all look kind of clueless.
How
as you
long
say
would
that.
it take without the resupply point for us to get from here to Turin?
15 days to get from here to
Okay.
Turin.
Then we
for
do need to
resupply.
stop. Set course for the resupply point.
Sorry, I zoned out a
Absolutely.
bit.
We will
Why-
set resupply point for 9 days, 9.5 days. Do we have a second from the captain to approve this destination?
May not have to do that if I can make food to like augment the journey. If we have
Do we
10
have a
days-
second from the captain to approve this destination for the ship?
You can veto it. It's okay.
Wait, hold.
Okay.
Yes, captain.
I hate this. We may not need to stop in the middle if we have 10 days food and we mix it with.
No, we're not, captain. We can decide where to stop when you choose. Like, and this is echoed from multiple crewmen.
Okay. I think we can set course for Turin and augment what food we have and then resupply once we're in Turin, because Turin could be a supply point, right? Is that a
So can you make food out of thin air?
yeah? Remember how I did that in the desert?
Honestly, I was stuck inside of a cabin. So no, I don't remember too much.
No, you were a vulture for some of it that
Yeah.
you got food because that was during.
Yeah, I went and
where
got
you
my
had some-
own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had food from the group, but you also
Mm.
got your own.
Okay.
That's right.
That's one of those wibbly
enough
wobbly
for,
timey-wimey areas.
Okay.
and enough for it's kind of a lot actually. I mean, are there like I mean, I assume there are like barrels and things for water and stuff.
Absolutely, Captain. There are barrels of water for consumption.
Perfect. Yeah.
They all look at each other and just like, it's perfect.
I think we. Can
You are
just
doing
go-
really well, Captain Juniper Swift.
Mhm.
Yeah, you got this.
God, you guys. I think we can go right to Turin. I
Okay.
think that's probably the direct is best.
Sounds good. Set course for Turin.
The navigator has approved the navigational point of Turin. Captain, do you second this?
Yes.
It is approved. Setting course for Turin. And you see everyone just jump into action. Ropes being pulled. These glistening solar sails kind of
That's so
open
cool.
up, reflecting the sunlight. And you see fins below the ship reflecting. You see in a weird exhaust of kind of this mist kind of buffeting around the entire ship, making this kind of foggy cloud as you move through the sky.
Yeah, might be looking a
I
little
kn-
green at this point.
Fair. We're going to take a brief break because I feel like things are probably either going to continue to be how they are or very quickly escalate. So let's take a quick break. Anyone who needs to use the bathroom, anyone who needs to just vent that Scott is off his game, whatever, just let's have a moment.
See you in 5 minutes.
5 minutes. That's 10.
Did you do the thing? No, hold on.
Julie, do the
Do
thing.
that thing.
Trying to do the thing.
Technical difficulty. Welcome back. We have all relieved ourselves and we have recollected. Here we are. The crew is set. We have a captain, we have a quartermaster, we have a gunnery officer, and we have a navigator. The ship, the Bewitched, has set sail into the unknown of the skies.
Into the
Don't no copyrighted. Why you gotta go that direction? Jeez.
I don't know I don't have a clue what you're talking about.
I want to yell,
Neither.
Flash! Ah!
Oh, that's so deep in my heart. Dun 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 dun. So the ship has a course, and immediately after the consensus around the war table, we'll call it, on the deck, all of a sudden all the Sealies take off running, and the solar sails are loosed fully, and you see the iridescent quality of that cloth as both light and wind seem to collect into the sail and set it forward. And you see as the helmsman, one of the Sealies, who is Sealy but with like a grizzled beard, is holding on to the wheel, is staring. You see the fin sails of the ship open and shut and reflect on the direction. You see that same iridescent quality of the wind filling the sail, and then all of a sudden light collecting, and you see all of a sudden this propulsion move forward, but that light dissipate into a fog cloud that disperses behind you and around the actual ship, keeping you masked in like a cloud moving through the sky. Maybe these are the types of things that people who lay on the grass on the plains look up at and think are shapes. As you move forward over the course of the next several hours, moving into dusk, yet you are standing near the front of the ship. You have been dealing with a lot of thoughts, a lot of mixed messages. And as you as the dusk or the sun is setting and you're starting to see stars starting to poke out in the night, clouds in the distance, you're standing there at the very front of the ship, absolutely doing, just
Spectral Sealy comes up behind.
yeah, and just holds you,
Oh, man. All right, now I might have to make some fan art.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, yes.
Is it the Sealy with the grizzled beard?
Absolutely.
Perfect.
It better be.
With one eye patch.
Aww.
You're standing there and you look at the distant clouds and you feel different. It's the difference between feeling normal and then having the absence of the maiden, the little girl. And now you're back and you feel her. But you also remember what it was like very clearly, like an amputated limb. You remember what it was like to not have her. And as you kind of flex your fist and just kind of almost make a mortal motion of like yeah, my hand is still here, even though you remember that part of yourself that was removed while you were in that weird, distant future. As you flex, it takes you several times before you notice in the far distance there's a cloud bank that every time you start to flex that blue hand, there is lightning strikes in the distance. And there's this long moment as you kind of connect that thought that there's something connecting you almost maybe to that. All of a sudden behind you, there's a young woman. It's not the little girl. The second you kind of feel the presence, you know it is the same, but it's also not the same. It's not the warrior you saw once, but it's also not the little girl who's innocent and trying to make you whole again. It's somewhere in between. And as you turn your head, you see a woman who's at the same time as you flexing their hand, who's wearing a beautiful dress, like a silken tunic with a leather kind of cuirass over their chest. Not full battle, but also not casual. That halfway. Same eyes, though. You see that wonder, you see that hope in their eyes, but whether it be in the eyebrows thickening or the way the hair is pulled back in a business sense in a ponytail and a slight circlet. You see her look at you. You're here. I'm glad to see that you've made it here. It's been long enough that we've dabbled in the more sensitive matters. Do you feel the storm?
I am not sure if I'm feeling the storm. I'm seeing it. I am glad that you are here too.
I'm glad to be here too. I, through you, have an inkling of what you've experienced. It's not a bright future, but we can fight that future.
If you are helping us, I will be doing what I can be doing. Yes.
I am always here. I am always at your side and ready to fight with you, whether seen or not. Change is coming. You are the harbinger of some of that change. Don't be afraid of that power. They'll be mindful of it. It can hurt you and yours as much as your enemies. And also, and she kind of really looks directly at your hand, and you can almost see like the blue of your hand light up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Things that happened there haven't cemented yet. Change is coming. Just understand, it doesn't change your purpose or what you are capable of, regardless of the limitations in it.
I will try not to be like Einkel.
You see a very bright smile, and she just looks at you. Unkill was very useful in his specific purpose.
As long as you were pointing him in the right way, yes. And cutting his food for him.
She actually laughs at that, and it is almost like if you think Greek mythology of like a siren's laugh, like where you can't help but be magnetized by it. Yet your purpose is so much more. But yes, your family follows you and is tied to you in all of your purpose. Use it in all of the ways you can, but understand your limitations are not a curse. They are a focus. And then she'll hold her hand up and kind of grab the back of your neck, and very lightly, because she is a adult, young, adolescent woman at this point, kisses your lips very gently, and then pulls back, nose to nose. Sleep. And you drift off. And you will have, as much as we've hinted at it in your past, more than any baby has ever had a sleepless, peaceful night, you will have a dreamless, peaceful, restful night's sleep. Oliver. So, night has come. Where are you on the ship? If normal things are flowing, people are like, or illusions are doing work, and yeah.
Well, I would be taking a look around the entire ship, on deck, below deck, everywhere. See what kind of supplies we have.
Holy crap! There's a library.
There's a library.
Like as you're going through, and you're like, all right, cool. I need to take inventory of that. That is supplies. That is, food. That is artillery supplies. That is that's a library. That's a library on a ship with no name from the future and the past. That's a library.
Okay. I'm gonna make a short round, and maybe one of the Sealy crew people keep doing my my counts, my rounds and such.
Aye.
And then I want to see what's here. I did have a plan to. Is there any of that, like, is there like extra like sail material and rope and stuff in case it's needed there?
Ironically, yes, there is. There is extra sail material, and as you kind of go through some of the lower decks, you do find there are not even crates. Like you'd expect crates on a ship. This is like with like instead of like iron on a chest to reinforce the chest, it's almost like glittering steel, silver, and these intricate, easily removed because you just know when you touch the lock that you have access, but to the wrong person probably wouldn't open up. And these chests open up with zero effort. It's like touching a lid of a large chest, but there's no gravity and it just flips open. You can see this reflective solar sail kind of material that, like, there is replacements for most of the ship one time. As you kind of go through things, there are spare parts for the ship one time. That's including all of the ballista, all of the cannons, all of the, like, the hull that could take damage. There looks to be things that could repair it one time.
One time. Well, since there's such an abundance of extra material, obviously, I did draw up like a schematic of the flying device that we used previously, and I just kind of want to see if, like, maybe the carpenter or the engineer on board, if they could look at that and maybe put something like that together in case we need it for, outrider combat. Boarding shuttle or something.
Okay, what's your intelligence modifier?
It is +5.
What's your charisma modifier?
It is -1.
I'll give you a +4 to a ingenuity, like a creative inventor, taking what you've seen, taking what's in front of you, and trying to combine it into maybe something new that the ship can, through the holographic illusion of Sealy, like 3D print.
Okay. Right on. Let's give it a shot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Since we have all this extra stuff.
Yeah.
All right. What role would that actually be?
So a D20 plus your intelligence,
right,
minus your charisma modifier.
Gotcha.
So a +4, I think you said.
Okay. So the roll was a nat 1.
Oh.
That, I think that seems like the story we're telling right now.
Unless you want to use inspiration.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay, because I did give you inspiration.
I do have some inspiration.
And yeah, and you have inspiration.
Ooh, that's lovely. Listen, Scott, the dice are just as incapable of quantifying anything beyond 1
Oh my god.
as Oliver right now. So
Is that 2 nat 1s?
that was 2 nat 1s.
Okay. Okay.
That's
Perfect.
the story.
That is an amazing story. And that will affect the ship as a whole.
Okay.
Because
Yay.
they spent resources on modifying the ship to accommodate this idea.
Yes. Well, and then since it's a nat 1, Oliver is obviously supremely confident that it's all going great.
It works.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
like,
yeah,
I feel like it was never a doubt that it's an invention that works.
yeah. So he hands this off to the fabrication crew, and absolutely
all of the Sealies like, absolutely, this seems like a horrible design, but we will make it work.
Yep. And then that gives him time to turn to the library and check it out.
Perfect. I love this. Roll me an investigation check for the library, and I'm going to say disadvantage because I feel like you definitely spent a lot of time focusing on this first idea.
Mm-hmm.
As horrible as it went.
No, it went great. Come on, it's gonna be great.
It went great for your perception, but
all right. Disadvantage is that's a 25.
All right, Mick.
Disadvantage roll 25.
Okay, Mick.
Yes.
This is one of those therapeutic exercises. As Oliver,
right?
Say the first word that comes to Oliver's mind for research.
Kill the dragons.
I said word. But kill. killed the dragons. Dragons. killed.
Draconicide.
Oh my god.
There is a dragon.
Beautiful.
Do you speak Draconic?
Let's see. I do. Yes.
Okay, there's a word that absolutely means die dragons. So, with that roll and the distraction that may be both improved or, catastrophe, that invention, you do your research and you find a specific book that talks about an experimental spell
Fascinating.
that will drive a dragon, both body and soul, to the ground and bind them there.
Dragon Rend. Sorry.
I
Play a lot of
mean,
Skyrim.
yes,
Yeah.
because that's the inspiration of the idea, but
Hell
God damn
yeah.
it.
Hell yeah. Sorry. Played a lot of Skyrim in high school.
All of this game is all of the pop culture things I love.
I love it.
that's- Just let's call less attention to it. So I guess you have found the beginnings of a spell called Dragon Rend, and it'll require more research, but you have found the first references of a spell that will drive a dragon to the ground and make it impudent when it comes to being able to use flight and legendary actions.
This is it. This
Which
is what
is-
we need.
Mechanically huge.
Eureka.
Perfect. That invention and that double net one, I'm just gonna
It's going to go great.
put it in
Yeah.
my pocket.
Gosh. Oh no.
Oh no. All right. Maven,
Yes.
it's full on night now.
Mm.
The ship is sailing, you're the navigator. What are you doing?
I think I'm up in the crow's nest. As a crow, of course.
Of course you
literal.
are.
Obviously. What else
Because
would I
it's
be
the
doing?
crow's nest.
Exactly. Yeah. Then what else would I be doing up there? Being a falcon? Absolutely not. Not on
No falcons allowed. It's the
Mm-mm.
crow's nest.
brand.
Is there an uncomfortable Sealy Grizzle with a telescope?
Yes.
And a crow sitting on the end,
Absolutely.
peering backwards.
Yeah,
through
absolutely. Yeah.
The...
Like I'm on top of their head.
Nevermore.
Kinda. Yeah. No, I'm into that. But yes, so that was what I am doing. And I want to keep watch with Sealy to this version of Sealy or whatever.
I
To
get
make
it. It's all
sure.
Sealy.
Yeah, it's Sealy all the way down, really. I'm funny.
What are you trying
Anyway.
to accomplish?
I'm trying to figure out if we are gonna have any problems in the sky. I'm wanting to keep a little peekaroo out for any problems on the ground in the sky. I'm still
So
pretty
you're doing
freaked out.
meteorologist and
Yeah.
survival of
Yeah.
perfect.
Someone's
Roll me a
got to do it
survival check with advantage because of the way you're doing it.
because I'm a crow.
And-
Just kidding.
You're a crow. You're a druid. You're
And I'm
taking your husband's geode astrological thing, like all of those things tied together.
Yeah, those were two like really good rolls, but the best one was a dirty 20.
Okay. So as a crow.
Yeah.
At a certain point, because flavor wise, I don't give a shit. From your crow form, a claw pulls out the geode and it kind of makes that holographic thing from the geode illuminating the astrology of the constellations. And you're looking, staring out into the early night. And you see Sealy Grizzle kind of looking and occasionally pulling out the periscope and looking out into the distance, and then just kind of nodding up to you. You see Sealy Grizzle
Thank you.
looking out with the periscope into the distance, and then occasionally looking back at you with a nod. And then one of the times you look away, you're still in your crow form. All of a sudden, Daruk is sitting there. And you see him just kind of looking off into the distance, whimsically, waiting for what's coming, but also enjoying the skyline, the stars that are out. And you just see him just looking off in the distance. And he looks up at you. You're always beautiful, but can I talk to you as you, or do I have to do it through the bird?
She caws indignantly. And then and then comes out of crow form.
Fair. So you're there.
Mhm.
Do you do anything with that other than being there, sitting on the edge of the crow's nest?
I'm
As
freaking
he's-
out.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm freaking out. Where hello this is another one of my hallucinations. How's Cyprus?
He just looks at you with a kind of mischievous look. It's a solid town to live in. She's here.
I heard. Isn't she everything you ever thought she'd be?
You see, roll me an insight check.
Okay.
Just real quick.
God, I love my daughter so fucking much. Okay. Illison's my favorite character I've ever made. As an 18. That
You
includes
see-
Maven.
You see pain go across his face. He's like, she's everything. She's still warming up to me.
Well, you are hard to deal with, so I understand.
He real quick just smiles and
Mhm.
she hates me. She's angry with you.
Fair.
But she's everything I thought neither one of us could ever do.
She's somehow better for not having either of us in her life, and I don't know how to feel about that.
Yeah, we both suck.
A lot. Like a lot.
Yeah, no, as people individually and together.
Yeah. You're
Um,
yeah. She's okay. She's okay.
For now, to help you, I I can't do it for her, and I can't do it for you. But I'm gonna have to. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna have to put her in harm's way to
For
give
what?
you a chance to do what needs to be done.
What are you planning?
I'm not planning anything. Your little friend, Celie, talked to all of us here in the town square. In the town square, like we were celebrating like a month of being here.
She did have a flair for the dramatic, didn't she?
She appeared out of light and a campfire.
Yeah. Yeah, that's her.
Okay.
Yep. Did she tell you were early?
No, she said we weren't supposed to be here.
Oh yeah, that's her second favorite line. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. At least I know that we're supposed to be here because we're not supposed to be here.
Kind of. You get used to it.
No, it's okay. I get it. I've been watching enough stars that are supposed to be there and then disappear in the night sky. And no, I get it. I can't leave. I've tried. If I leave, I literally start to die. But she can.
Okay.
And she wants to help.
She's a good healer. They need her.
I've tried to tell her her best place was here to help those who come here as a safe haven. But it's not enough.
She's not gonna. It's not gonna be. Did she come alone?
She's good. No. She didn't come alone. I can't even tell you about her friends. I don't approve.
One is a constable, and the other one's a shifty, oily man.
Sure. Yeah, we'll call them that.
Okay.
Oh,
Are they going?
I'm gonna be honest. Both of them want to be with her.
I know.
And both of them are lacking in of all the things that I would put into what she is deserving of. They are lacking the personal qualities of a person. They are shells of a. It's like almost like a stupid person created a character that only has one set of personality traits.
Oh, I thought Palmhead was lovely, but all right.
One's dishonest, but yet redeemable, and one is an idiot that is possibly brilliant. Together, maybe they could be a person, but apart,
oh my God.
no.
Oh, I'm glad they came.
Maybe I'm being selfish as her father.
You are.
And I've been a rat for a lot of years.
You still are, even in your human suit.
I don't need that.
Hmm.
They're heading to Sunder Keep.
They've left already?
About 2 weeks ago. I tried to follow and stop her, and that's when I found out I can't leave.
Okay.
They're heading north.
I'm going south. What do they think they're doing there?
Killing a dragon.
Stupid, beautiful girl.
I mean, what are you doing?
I'm
fucking killing a dragon.
I'm on a magic ship right now, piloted by.
Oh, that's so much better.
Yeah.
They're taking a horse to kill a dragon. What are you doing? You're on a magical
flying ship.
To what?
To go steal a staff.
From a what?
And recruit some dwarves.
And do what?
And well, we're not going to kill the
I'm just
dragon.
waiting for the end because I
We're
know your
stealing
daughter is
from a
at the same
dragon.
place.
We're
Yeah,
stealing
there
from
we
a
are,
dragon.
There we are.
If we kill it, well, I mean,
Yeah, that's a bonus. Why are you both so similar and so painfully different?
we share DNA.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's baked right
Why
in.
did I not get more input other than DNA? You're both idiots,
Yeah,
and yet I'm stuck here.
I'm sorry that I'm sensing you're upset.
Thankfully, you've always been so empathetic and insightful in feelings.
Look, so she left 2 weeks ago. Okay. They're gonna die. They know that.
That's
They know
what
they're
I
gonna
said
die.
when they left.
Yep. Okay.
Selita Nansanon doesn't do anything in half measures.
I know. How far?
2 weeks.
So they're there.
No. It's if they hold to the roads 2.5 months.
Okay. Well, luckily, Mommy's on a floating ship in the sky. And
That wasn't a joke.
no, it's really not. I am in a floating ship in the sky, piloted by magic and multiple copies of Seely. One of them has a beard and one eye. Roguishly handsome.
A
really.
beard in one eye?
A beard and one eye.
Sorry, sweetheart.
Her brother also has a beard in
misheard
his
you.
eye. So it gets confusing. I mix them
No,
up.
I understand. You have a lot of Sealy in your eye.
Yeah. And it's weird. I was really getting used to the silence in my head after 20-ish years of talking. It's nice. It's nice to hear your voice. Okay. We have to go. I gotta go save her from herself. Do they even know how they're gonna kill the dragon? Do they have any plan other than we're gonna go murder a dragon? Probably not if she's anything like me.
I may have hinted at a relic that I found
Mhm.
that is tied
Okay.
to Selita.
And you know how to use it?
Oh no.
No.
Of course not. It was ironically a carved inscription of a stone, and she said it was important and that it can kill Selita.
And where's that?
Oh, she has it now.
Hmm. Okay.
Right. Yeah, these are the things I've been dealing with for a little bit.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
It's kind of this weird single parent thing that I
Yep.
feel like,
Mm-hmm.
you've been doing the absentee parent.
Mm-hmm.
And then I
It was
got
working for me.
Thrust. Yeah, I
Yeah.
bet. Not
Yeah.
caring is really great. Well, here I am, now mortal, and I am watching over our daughter, and then she, runs off like her mother did. And, I kind of watched you do that
At least I
more
brought you
than
with
once. I mean, I love you, but, I feel like I'm impotent because I have been stuck on your shoulder and now I'm stuck in this town and constantly I want to do more, but yet I have limits on what I can do. And as much as I love you, Maven, I really do. I constantly feel like I am being held back because ever since you felt like I betrayed you, I have not been able to affect the greater world in the way I'd like, except like help direct some of the people who have limited me in what can be done. And I have a lot of information that I have been gathering for like 40 years before we got together. And I love you. I understand why you were angry. But then you spend 40 years as a rat.
Mhm.
And it changes your perspective.
Mhm.
And then you get your daughter back. And then she abandons you in a fit of rage.
A fit of rage. You didn't
Well,
tell
I
me about the
mean,
fit of rage.
It was very
What did
much
you
a
do?
fit of. No, I told her the truth of.
Okay, when you
the
tell someone
start.
the truth, it hurts their feelings.
Right. I didn't realize that about you. And I guess I didn't realize our daughter was the exact same way. I thought she had a little bit more of us in her versus a lot more of you. And so I told her of how the stars work and that there are signs in it and that the world is ending and the dragons are at fault and that we need to deal with the dragons. And here's a stone that might help with that. And then she just ran off
I was gonna say you thought she wasn't gonna
with
take that.
two douchebags who
Like
thought they could help.
I like
And
that.
both of them want our daughter, by the way,
I know.
in not a healthy way.
All
'cause-
right. They're good boys. All right. They're sweet. They try their best. And she's smarter than both of them combined. So
I
I'm not
don't
worried.
approve of either
I'm not
one
worried
of them.
about it. I'm not worried about it. Listen. Okay. I didn't know that you were tied.
I
Just
know,
like-
because you left her once and then you left her again.
No.
Immediately.
No. I didn't know you were
No.
tied to Cyprus.
Either did I.
Well, what?
You
and
left. You
we
went
were-
on another adventure and then
I had
she
to go.
left. And I tried to follow and I very quickly started to die.
Yes.
And I felt him start to come in. And so I started to run back to town. And ever since then, I can hear him in the back of my head.
Okay. There's a lot. Yeah, I'm learning a lot right now. Okay. All right. So first things first. I need to turn the ship around and get our
As you say that, all of a sudden, Sealy Grizzle, the form changes, and she's like, aye, navigator. What
not yet,
course
not
would you like
yet,
to take?
Sealy, not yet, Sealy. Give me a minute, please, darling.
does
Thank
the
you.
captain need to approve this course change?
They will, and we'll do that in a minute. We'll just 1 minute. Just give me a minute.
Aye, Captain. What change would you like to make?
I am not the captain.
Aye, navigator. Sorry.
Yes. Might need to redirect course. Alert, Captain.
What course would you like to redirect?
Alert, Captain Swift. I need to meet with her urgently, please.
Aye, Captain Swift. and the down the deck until Juniper, you are summoned no matter where you are.
Yeah.
And you come to the front of towards the crow's nest as Maven. Are you coming down?
I will be down in a moment. I kind of yell down. I've got
So
some
as you hear the shouts, yeah, you're like, God damn it. You know?
I've got some news. I'll be down in a second. We might need to change course.
Navigator has a course change in a moment. You know.
Can he hear any of that?
Who?
Daruk.
Daruk was Sealy, and Sealy turned back.
Oh my God, he's gone. He's just completely gone. Cool. I'm going down.
There you go.
Yeah, cool, great. I'm gonna scramble down. And I look at June. Hey girl.
Hey girl.
Hey.
The most awkward. Hey girl.
Hey girl boss. Okay. So Sealy turned into my husband. So that happened.
The weirdest thing.
Yeah, it's not the weirdest thing that's happened today, honestly. But so my daughter went to go kill a dragon, and we got to go do the fixing of that because she's gonna die. They're gonna die. The people she's with, and I go on for about 20 minutes about the two dudes that she's with and how much I am enthralled by them, but also they're so dumb. They're gonna get her killed. She's gonna die, probably saving one of their sorry hides. Yeah.
Dangles and the Valentine.
Oh my god, ew.
I mean, that could jeopardize everything we're trying to do too. Yeah, where like what? Yeah, where are they?
Yeah, they went
yes.
north. They left 2 weeks ago. It's a 2-month journey on foot. So I'm sure we could get. I just want to see how far it would be. I cannot.
Yeah, I mean, turn the ship around.
Okay.
Of course, for north.
Yeah. Well, I. What's the town name again, Scott?
Which one?
The one they're going to.
Sunderkeep.
Sunderkeep. I ask.
You were heading south towards
Yes.
Hailstone,
Yes,
which
we
is
were.
where the heist is.
Yes.
Should I do the thing?
Which thing?
Should I show the map again?
Sure.
Absolutely.
Good idea. Good idea.
So,
Yeah.
show us at Dragonlock.
Oh my god, it's so far away.
It's so far away.
Okay,
So
but they're
Dragonlock,
not-
this is
they're not all the way up
roughly
there.
kind of the area above Loch Lake that you are. And then you have started moving south.
Yes.
You can either
So
scroll
where's
south or
Cyprus?
zoom out.
Where's Cyprus?
Hold on. Cyprus is
Let's see.
kind
It's
of
close to where
just
we are,
north.
right? Kind of.
Well, it's north. So like if you look at oh my god, stop moving. Dragonlock. You see Dragonlock?
I do.
There it is. You see where the Fairway monastery is?
Yeah.
Fairway
Or the
Forest,
Open Way
the
Monastery.
Yeah.
Go straight left. Stop. Now go down a little bit into that hillock, right there. That's around where Cyprus is.
Okay, so it is close to where we are.
How,
Kind of.
approximately how far away from Cyprus would the Open Way Monastery be?
Like days.
Okay. So days, and then so
Foot
we would
travel.
have a rough idea.
Days by
of-
foot travel.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Days by like horse and carriage. Yeah.
Okay. So we would have a rough idea of how far they could have gotten in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. We wouldn't have to go all the way up there. We would just need to find them.
They have at minimum 2 weeks of whether by foot or horse optimal travel. So I would say if you look at where the words are of Galton Hills,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
from that hillock, make like a radius of that kind of degree pattern of like, yeah, they could be anywhere in there depending on the path they
Okay.
took because they did not tell you.
Okay.
That being said, they are heading absolutely further north into the desert on the coast to Sunderkeep.
Yep.
And you are currently scroll down. Down. You have at least traveled into the middle of Loch Forest,
Okay.
past the lake. So you're
Oh.
somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And then
so-
scroll down. Hailstone.
Yeah.
That is where you know you need to go in a timely fashion because from the future is past or past future is present, X-Men movie, you know that things with Callan could be important in Hailstone
Yeah.
very soon.
I can go.
What do you mean?
I can go.
By yourself?
I don't want. Yeah. I can. I can do this. I can find her and come back. I'll find a way to get to you as quick as I can.
Can you?
I think I can.
We're probably
We're
gonna
gonna
still be
hold
sitting
on
right
to
here.
that. What?
We'll probably be sitting right here.
We're gonna hang on to that. We're gonna go to Juniper. This kind of conversation and thought has all transpired. The ship is still moving south, but it's not moving so fast that Maven hasn't decided. She is having that parental, like, I need to go, but also I can't. I need to go, but also I'm supposed to go this, like that definite separation. Okay. Jennifer, as you're kind of quietly on the deck, Maven goes below deck because she wants to be an animal or have seclusion or both.
I turn into
And
a rat,
just-
actually.
Yeah. Oh. And think on this. Okay. You're alone on the deck with all of the Sealies. And you're standing there, and one of the Sealies, the one at the helm, ironically with a very shitty looking fake beard, like holding on to the helm, looks back to Captain. Do you want to take the helm? Do you want to guide us through where we're going? I get it. I get it. You need to take the helm once in a while to get a feel for the ship. The Bewitched is a fickle beast, but she loves a
Right.
firm hand.
Great.
God.
That's exactly what I have.
And as you kind of make that joke, both whether it be out loud
It was out
or
loud. Yeah.
to your or to yourself, a mixture of the both. You take the helm and you do really quick start to feel a weird harmonization through the helm of the ship responding to you. It's like being an amputee who suddenly has their arm back, who you never like that kind of thing where like you forgot what it felt like to have your hand.
Mhm.
The ship responds to you in a way that only a captain can get that kind of response from. There is an immediate control that a captain can take over to the ship that no one else can. And it's through contact with the ship. As you hold on to the helm, you kind of focus and just let your mind think and drift. And you kind of, if you're stressed out, you kind of roll your shoulders. And you almost feel like some of the railings on the edge of the ship roll.
Weird.
And then you start to think about Callan again. You start to think of the letter that you wrote and put into your pack. In the distance, you hear the roll of thunder. And there's a party that can feel Viet, maybe, having a kind of tossing dream, sleepless though it might be, but tossing in his bed, in his cot, as it were. And you hear the distant thunder of a storm cloud that will not affect the ship in any way. You feel the support of a table that has a lamplight. And Oliver sitting over a desk, looking over books, looking tired, stressing out, trying to keep himself together, but also trying to do research that is useful and helpful, trying to piece together clues that both make total sense and are the pieces that are needed, but also break apart the second they click together because there's so much unknown. You feel Maven retreat to a cabin and turn into a little rat and hide in a corner and just look kind of like the embodiment of someone who has so much power, so much strength and understanding, sitting in the corner of a room that is so large and so outside of their realm that they don't know what to do with it. All of these things come to you through the wood grain of the ship as you hold on to the helm. And then the thought of where you were and what Callan was and what Levistus is and made his like a worm digging through an apple. And Slate comes to mind, who you barely knew. As these thoughts come to you, this flood of the harmony of your ship as the captain, nominated by the crew, you can thank all of them because this could have been any one of you. And the experiences you dealt with coming here. What are the thoughts that come to your mind as Juniper?
She would be thinking about that future. How?
Whose future? Like specifically, are you thinking Callan? Are you thinking
kind of
the gods,
that,
or like
yeah,
what part of it are you thinking of?
That
Just
future that we came from, kind of focusing on that sort of awful marriage of Callan and Slate and Levistus, and just the hatred almost that was seething below the surface of all three of them. Callan for us having left him behind, Slate for just sort of being a vessel, like it just kind of concentrating on that and how lonely that must have been and how scary and how
okay.
Just kind of really concentrating on that figure.
Okay. So as you are standing at the helm, feeling all of the mixed emotions from everyone on board, and then feeling your own emotions kind of whirlpooling in with that, what does Juniper do with that? I mean, is it just a thought, or is there more to it?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
a great question.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is sort of a thought, almost like a reaching out, like wishing that she could help that person. Like, especially Slate,
Okay.
that person that she barely knew.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, reaching out. Okay. I'm okay. Roll me a caster check, because I feel like this is between a religion and like an arcana of like sending. You know, do you have spell slots, by the way?
I do, yeah.
Okay.
Of
I might
what
use
do
them.
you like? It's a natural 20.
You don't get a choice. Like, what? No, what'd you say?
It's a natural 20.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got
Let's say
some spells ones.
okay. Whatever your highest slot is, I'm just
Available.
one of those are gone.
Have we rested?
I mean, it doesn't. Okay. No, since last episode to this episode, no, you haven't. What is your highest slot that is available, whether you
Fourth.
have a slot in it or not?
Oh, fifth.
Do you have a slot?
No.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay. That is so perfect. Okay.
I don't like that.
No, it's okay. You rolled a nat 20. It's fine. Thing is, you were so subtle with that. All right. So
I like to celebrate.
as you think about it, as you kind of are gripping onto the helm and feeling everyone in their emotions on the ship, you start to think of what happened. You start to think of Callan, the letter in your bag now to Levistus and what little you know about him, and to Slate being an empty vessel filled and taken advantage of or lied to, or like you're filling a lot of holes that you're not 100% sure of, but like you're trying to both empathize, but at the same time you have your own perspective on it as well. And then as you are feeling all this, all of a sudden you feel this warmth inside. And you felt this before. You felt this warmth of like sunlight and the sun rising from the horizon. That's kind of the best way to, in my opinion, describe your magic, is being in a dark, early morning sky and suddenly the sun rises. It feels like you went from that early morning without the sun to high noon. And you feel like you just, within that 20, connected to someone that you've only met in the most briefest of tense, both future and past. And you have a direct line that you don't know how long this is going to last, but it is suddenly like someone, Slate, you feel someone who is sitting by a campfire. You see a person who is a human with slick backed hair in a once really nice set of traveling clothes. He's got a hand that is now fully clawed and dark skinned. His face is mostly looking of that of a demon's face. One eye that's still human, one ear. Half of his hand still has human skin to it. And he's sitting by a fire, kind of rocking back and forth as he's reading over a book. And suddenly the firelight for him, you can see it was once red, shifting into blues and greens, suddenly turns back into a normal, warm, orange firelight. And you can see him drop the book and look directly into the firelight. And you can see like a tear from the human eye just start to stream down. And he's like, "Who's there?" Looking scared.
Slate?
I think.
Not yet. Not well at all. Barely met Juniper.
Are you another demon?
Kind of. You look scared.
Because I'm not alone. Ever.
No, you're not. I don't know exactly what you're going through. But I know something about being an empty vessel and then having something else.
I don't want to be bad. But it's coming.
That's not written in stone. That power that's within you, that is a blessing and a curse.
I don't want it.
But you have it. And it's yours. And you still have a choice how to use it.
He's silent right now.
You still hold the cards, Slate. You do. Even though it doesn't feel like it. But you have to play the game. You can still win. And you might lose, but you can't stop playing.
I think I know somebody better at this game than me.
You what?
I know someone better at this game than me. I can bring him to me and he can help me play this game. He's good at games. He always wins.
Because he tricks people.
He's the hanged fool. He always wins. He's the Joker.
He doesn't always
could-
win.
No, you're right. I can bring him here. He can help me.
You have to do this on your own.
I can't do it on my own.
Yes, you can.
He's always whispering.
You don't have to
Kellen was
listen.
always my friend. Kellen was my friend. He'll help me.
You don't have to listen to those whispers.
Roll me a persuasion check real quick.
That's not gonna be
I
good.
know. It's like we haven't rolled any dice tonight.
No, that
I mean,
wasn't
we
too
have, but
bad.
we haven't.
Was -1, so it's 18.
Super. Mine was a 15, so it's much higher. Suddenly you get the feeling like someone just grabbed your throat and picked you up off the ground.
F.
And you see like a superimposed version of Slate's face that is much more demonic, but also much more pleasant looking. Think kind of like that amazing Netflix, Lucifer thing. And just goes, "Dear, you're not welcome here. I have much more work to do, and you are only messing with what's mine. Get out before I burn you out." And you're suddenly back fully on the ship, holding on to the helm. And as you kind of let go a little bit, you see there's almost not burned, but like definitely as if someone took time with like a Dremel drill and like engraved your finger marks into those handholds.
Oops.
And then, Viet, you're going to wake up from your peaceful night's sleep. You're going to get out of bed. You're going to hear Juniper kind of shriek in pain above you on the top deck and come running at full speed. Your speed being 20. And get to the top deck. And as Juniper looks at you, for everyone who's been watching the game, you're going to realize a blue hand percentile roll has come into fruition as he slept. As if you can imagine what a dwarven Teddy Ruxpin looks like. He looks like a teddy bear who has been 100% inspired by what a dwarf teddy bear would look like. As he comes up fully, like he's not wearing his armor, but he is wearing like his dwarven like bedclothes and under tunic, comes running onto deck. He is not a tall version of the blue hand curse. He is now a furry, like, think Chewbacca, but shrunken down to about 4 foot flat tall.
So like cousin,
and it's almost like all of the hair grows from his face. So like there is skin, but it looks like all of the hair is in like from his beard wrapping around his body. That's what that percentile roll is. 2.5 weeks now, or 2 weeks ago.
God. Good golly.
What?
And he's like, Juniper, are you okay?
I don't have what is going on?
And he just, with the one hand, takes out the rod and it turns into like a battle axe. Is there danger?
God, you're
And
kind of
even-
adorable.
can I
Like,
bring up the
just-
cannons, Captain?
No.
And you see all the cannons on the ship just raise up just a little bit like they're
no,
ready.
Put them away. No. I just
He
I was
is
just-
so adorable, though.
I know you're adorable. First of all, did you mean to turn into a small bear-like creature?
I'm thinking
You
you're
look
having
down
a bad dream, Captain Juniper
I
Swift.
think you're gonna think that about yourself in a minute.
I mean, I feel like maybe at that you might look down a little bit at yourself and just see the massive amounts of hair. But here's the fun part. Your hair, once it hits your forearm, it's blue hair. All over.
Nice.
So I'm a short Sully.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like I love this,
I love this.
but
But
what happened?
A god
Literally,
kissed
as
me.
you think about that, you just, a god kissed me, and then all of a sudden you just feel a tingle through your arm. And just like,
Lucky you. I just got choked out by a demon.
I can't tell you how much I love Wild Banjo.
Hot. Love that for you.
Right.
Yeah,
Can't decide
kudos.
if I liked it or not.
It's a weird in between.
Kind of weird, like I was scared, but also I kind of liked it.
I'm thinking
And
we
there's
were
this
having
here.
very different experiences, Juniper Swift.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I
Stop
mean,
demon daddy.
Choking hand, blue hand. I mean, it's all, you know.
It's all
Similarity.
connected, right?
Mhm.
Did you choke
Um,
me?
We'll put the battle axe away, and he's trying to readjust his belt so that he can kind of belt some of his
It's
hair away a little bit.
adorable for him
It's
to
so
readjust his
cute.
little body, and you know, you are now, by the way, considered small Viet. You've
For God's
just
like
Hit.
halfling size.
you've just hit the tall end of small.
You're still taller than Oliver, though.
Just the tiniest bit.
Lord.
It's probably the hair.
Um,
Oops.
Got some frizz going on. That caps it off.
actually, I think the more important thing, because you are so adorable. I think the more important thing right now is that Maven's daughter is gonna go try and kill a dragon and is going the opposite direction of us. And if we don't turn this whole ship around to stop her, Maven's gonna go by herself.
We are needing navigator. If Maven goes, then we are stuck on course. Yes,
Yeah, yes.
And
and
I
we
will
are
also
faster. Yes, can't we
Yeah.
go be doing our thing and then go up and catch her daughter before she gets to Sunder Keep? Yes,
That's
I'm not navigator. I am not knowing if that can be happening, but
I don't
we are
know.
much faster than anybody on the ground. Yes.
Yes. I think you're
This-
correct.
This
So I think we
furry
just
ball, as
need
he's
to-
gesturing, this furry ball is kind of just bouncing.
My God.
I'm sorry, furry what?
His
Furry
furry
ball.
ball. Yeah,
You did say furry balls.
he did.
This furry ball is.
Just one.
I heard
he only has
bouncing.
I heard furry balls.
He only has
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
I was like, that's different.
Yet may or may not sleep in the nude.
I'm not
Hey,
surprised.
I'm not judging. So do I. Listen, I think we need to
Learn
have a crew talk. What do you call that? Like we need to talk, all of us. All hands on deck.
Aye, all hands on deck. And
That's it.
immediately the ship will start to assemble. And I'll be honest, just because of what time it is and also where we're at and the jokes that are being implied. That is where we're going to stop as a
Thank you.
adorable furry little Viet
So
with a
cute.
blue fur hand and a taken in two directions, Maven emotionally, and the mission and what is needed to be done and what she wants to do is torn, and a Captain Juniper who also has some guilt with some people who are dealing with different levels of isolation and feeling for them and being vessels and used and all of that. And Oliver, who's also dealing with some, interpersonal turmoil of their purpose and the greater good, the greater scope of things and their purpose, really like, mid-40s, midlife crisis. I'm going to get a Ferrari and a blonde
Mid 200s.
girlfriend,
Eh.
everyone is having things. That
Mm.
is where we're going to leave off as the ship starts to fly in just a big circle because there's indecision.
Putting a hold
It's
on
moving
it.
quite quickly, but it looks almost like to the ground. People are looking up and like, oh, a tornado's forming. Because there's the fog and mist underneath and a funnel cloud is starting to form as the ship moves in a
Fine.
circle without a true course.
But I think I heard Manny.
What does Manny say? Because
Yeah.
it's a very close score.
Right. So I think it was before Viet woke up, Oliver walked by this pile of what looked like twine. And he swore he could hear that familiar voice saying, "So Fenris, I told the pirate who came into the tavern, I asked him, why do you have the ship's steering wheel in your pants? And he said to me, it's driving me nuts.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And that's where we're gonna leave off.
And that's where we're gonna leave off. Thank you for joining us. After our little break and this roller coaster of a dumpster fire of a boat for a 3-hour tour.
3-hour tour. Oh.
I can't wait for next time. We will have a player down, but we will still press onwards. Hey, worked in the title credits.
What?
We will move forward. The title of this episode was Onwards. We will keep moving forward, and it'll be a great episode. And thank you, everyone who joined us. This break was too long, and I missed all of this.
Yeah.
Until next time, thank you for joining us. I am DM Scott. With me, as always,
Killian.
And Mick.
Chris.
And Catherine.
have a great week. We will see you next time.
Thank
on Down
you.
with Dragons 7 Central.
Bro.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, another episode because they didn't know that was happening.
No, I did not. You're
Have
correct.
a great week.
Bye-bye.